Gift visited Bhadman after they connected online. They have been talking on the phone for 2 weeks, since they met on a popular dating site. They gradually fell in love, and decided to take their relationship to the next level by meeting in person. Bhadman had a hidden motive for inviting her. He desired intimacy, as he believes that affection is deeply connected to physical connection. He gradually leans toward her, and they both mutually give in to the desire they share. The next morning, Bhadman wakes up, surprised to find himself alone in the bed. He swiftly glances around the room, searching for any hint of the lady, but there's no sign of her. Caught in a moment of confusion, he assumes that Gift has already left his house. He eases into a happy mood, feeling content with her visit and appreciating the fact that she left early without making things awkward. He had been faking his love for her since the day their profiles matched, all to deceive her into sharing his bed. This is the kind of man who will go to great lengths to manipulate a woman and her emotions for his own selfish gain. His quiet moment of celebration is suddenly interrupted when Gift unexpectedly walks in, smiling as she brings him breakfast in bed. She sits beside him, her touch soft and affectionate, using it to express the depth of her love for him. To Gift, this feels like the beautiful beginning of their love story, but to Bhadman, she's just a guest who's overstaying her welcome. Love turns into a solitary journey when both individuals are chasing different goals, fueled by their own selfish desires. 3 days later, Bhadman is in the living room when the door opens and his friend Smart walks in. They greet each other warmly and walks to sit on the couch. Smart, Bhadman's longtime friend, dropped by out of curiosity, since Bhadman rarely agrees to meet up for hangouts these days. He sets the bottle of whiskey on the table, mentioning it's a little gift to make their catch-up more enjoyable. Pleased and a bit surprised by Smart's kind gesture, Bhadman thanks him warmly and calls out a Gift to get them wine glasses. Smart is caught off guard upon hearing there's a lady in the house and instantly becomes curious to meet her. As Gift enters the room, Bhadman kindly requests her to fetch a whiskey glass from the kitchen. Driven by curiosity, Smart quickly asks Bhadman how long he's known Gift before deciding to let her live with him. Bhadman hesitantly admits that they met online, and since her first visit, they've been living together unofficially. Smart isn't comfortable with the idea and immediately voices his disapproval, advising Bhadman to send Gift back to her own place. Bhadman shows little concern about the risks of housing a stranger and quickly shifts the conversation as Gift walks in with the wine glasses. She places the wine glasses on the table, and Bhadman abruptly tells Smart to give up his seat so Gift can sit next to him. When people confuse sex for love, they end up wasting their lives living in an illusion. Bhadman knows he is not in love with the lady, but he's letting her stay since he enjoys her in bed. Two weeks later, Gift continues to reside in Bhadman's house, and they are living together as a couple. He knows nothing about her or her family, as she consistently avoids discussing them. Living with someone you don't know well can be quite a gamble. The door opens and Smart walks in, clearly disappointed to see that Gift is still staying with Bhadman. Bhadman and Gift are lost in their romantic world, completely unaware that Smart is standing behind them. He strides over to Bhadman, interrupting their romantic moment by tapping him firmly and insisting to get his attention drawn out from Gift. He tells Bhadman that he needs to have an important private meeting with him outside the door. Smart is a good friend, trying to protect his friend from the dangers of taking in a stranger. He approaches the door, and Bhadman asks Gift to give him some time to have a private chat with Smart outside. She rises to give him space to leave the couch. He thanks her for understanding, and then steps outside to meet Smart. Bhadman walks out to meet Smart, and is startled by the cold, hostile vibe he immediately senses. He's caught off guard that Smart insisted on a private talk regarding Gift's continued stay at his house. In his defense, he tells Smart that he's letting her stay because he finds her useful in bed and enjoys her company every night. When a man risks everything just for intimacy, it reveals how little he values himself. Smart firmly insists that Bhadman should ask Gift to leave, emphasizing that he knows nothing about her or her family. He then sternly warns Bhadman that if he doesn't have the courage to tell her himself, he'll go into the house and ask Gift to leave personally. This triggers a negative reaction from Bhadman, and he stops Smart from entering his house to confront Gift. A fight breaks out as they don't agree with each other, and in the heat of the moment, Bhadman orders Smart never to visit him again.
VJ Rex Fashions presents The Power of Style, tailored to define greatness, built for leaders, dreamers, and men of purpose. Style like a Senator, dress like royalty, only at VJ Rex Fashions.
Gift stays on the couch, calmly waiting for Bhadman, unaware that the meeting outside is about sending her away. The door swings open and Bhadman storms in, visibly angry from the tense confrontation he just had with Smart. He sits down next to Gift, and she quickly tries to figure out why he's upset, but he lies to her, saying that he's fine. The truth may be painful to accept, but denying it doesn't make it any less true. Two days later, Gift falls ill, and Bhadman has no way to reach out to her friends or family to inform them of her current condition. He's hesitant to take her to the hospital, fearing that she might be a criminal and that he could be arrested for harboring her. Feeling a mix of concern and fear, he gently asks her again if there's anyone he can contact on her behalf, but she claims to have no one. He quickly grabs his phone to call Smart, the very friend he had told never to visit again because of the lady. Smart answers the call, and Bhadman immediately pleads with him to come over, explaining that Gift is sick and he urgently needs help. Friendship is tested not by the good times, but by how much one friend is willing to hold up the other when everything falls apart. In the middle of the call, Gift quietly gives up the ghost, slipping away without Bhadman realizing it. He disconnects the call and suddenly realizes she is motionless, reaching out to touch her body to confirm she's dead. He quickly turns her over in shock and lifts her hand, desperately searching for any sign of life, but it falls back lifelessly. Bhadman's stubborn refusal to accept Smart's harsh warning about harboring a stranger has now left him trapped in an unexplainable situation. Only a doctor or medical professional has the authority to declare a person dead. A few minutes later, Bhadman leads Smart into the room to show him the lady's lifeless body. He explains to Smart that she fell ill, and with no one to contact, he refused to take her to the hospital because he didn't know her true identity. Skeptical about whether the lady is really dead, Smart moves closer to examine her and in shock confirms that she is indeed lifeless. He quickly lashes out at Bhadman, pointing out that he had warned him about the dangers of harboring her, but Bhadman dismissed the warning for the sake of sex. A man who loves sex more than himself walks a path paved with danger and regret. Bhadman urgently asks Smart for help to dispose of Gift's lifeless body, unwilling to take responsibility for her death. Smart refuses to help him cover it up, insisting that the best course of action is to take her body to the police, but Bhadman immediately leaves the room. Your friends can sometimes pull you into their own troubles without even asking for your consent. Bhadman rushes back into the room with a blanket and urgently asks Smart to help cover Gift's lifeless body so they can dispose of it together. He has indirectly implicated Smart as an active accomplice in the crime they are about to commit. Smart is fully aware that Bhadman's plan is wrong, yet he feels trapped, torn between protecting his friend and risking everything by alerting the authorities. They carefully wrap Gift's lifeless body with the cloth, silently preparing to dispose of it together. Getting rid of a dead body without involving the appropriate authorities is a serious criminal offense. They both carry the lifeless body to a deserted spot and bury her there. Bhadman warns Smart to stay silent about what they've done, reminding him of the serious consequences if their secret ever comes to light. He asks Smart to keep an eye on the surroundings, then quietly creeps up behind him and strikes him on the head with the shovel, sending him crashing to the ground. Bhadman couldn't trust Smart to keep the secret, so he decided to take his life in order to protect his own. This is a lesson to everyone. Facing problems openly and responsibly is better than hiding from them. Be cautious about who you trust, especially with your deepest secrets. Housing a stranger is like inviting uncertainty into your home. Never rush into relationships without truly knowing the person. Please share this video and comment where you are watching from.